Good morning everyone, welcome back to Nat Snacker's Yard. I'll be Nat, this will be the commute. And today I'm going to see exactly how long it takes, because it is 7:30, bang on. And I'm going to move with a shift on. I normally meander into work, I'm not going to be speeding or ragging it. I just want to see how long it takes with a sense of purpose. And I'll go whatever way the sat-nav tells me, because there are several routes, but I'm just going to try and pick the quickest. Got me my anti-slip seat as recommended by Steve, and I'll see how it goes. By way of update, I've had the top, what do you call it? Top box. That's right. The top box frame arrived. The shad one arrived. I have taken it apart and chucked some paint on it, so it looks a bit better. I'll do some before shots and just throw it in here. I have got a box on the way. It's not a shad top box, it is just a box, a smaller one. And I'll see how that goes. This is an interesting route. Quite good fun. They've just resurfaced this road. It was fucking awful route till very recently. Now it's quite good fun. Fuck's sake. You don't know how to drive, I'm getting away from you. You're turning, that's fine. You're making a meal out of it, but can't beat a bit of anger in the morning. I decided to come on a bike today. I train commuted yesterday and it was crowded and horrible and reminded me everything I hate about commuting, so I thought I'd jump on the bike and have a bit of fun on the way in. Give the world the opportunity to kill me a few times to see what happens. I was thinking about this in the shower this morning, actually, in terms of what to witter about, and what people might find interesting. And I thought about YouTube, and I'll tell you for why. Well, I said about it on the last one, about Dirty Garage guy Matt Hudson, and potentially helping co-host for probably one time only his live stream on a Saturday. Now, for those who don't watch Dirty Garage Guy, it's an acquired taste. It's seen as an attack mob for YouTube. It's not. It's some interesting elements. Basically, digs at dickheads, but dickheads for a purpose. So Dale at Del Boy's Garage gets a fair amount of shtick, and it's on the subject of deleting comments, giving bad advice, wrapping terrible advice as good advice. There's all sorts, you know, saying this is the way to do things when it's quite obviously, even to a moron like me, that it's not the right way of doing things, you know, etc, etc, etc. So it's kind of exposing that side of it. There's a couple of others that get his fury. Ginge, which is AJ Media or something, who basically gets trashed superbikes and throws money at them until they're fixed, in inverted commas, because I would really be very careful what you say is fixed, because he just, you know, bodges and doesn't really know what he's doing. Now, you know, to be fair, not many of us know what we're doing, that's fine, but it's when it's couched as knowing what you're doing that is the concern. For those that don't know what they're doing, and I'll put Bikes of Rye within this, which is another channel, bigger one than mine, they all are, who claims to acknowledge that he doesn't know what he's doing, and yet still doesn't seem to know what he's doing, and does some ridiculous things with full fervour and all the presentation styles of CBeebies. It is incredible what you see on YouTube, and unfortunately it really clouds the media, clouds anyone's ability to check and choose. I'm still very anti not being able to see dislikes, because it really takes away a viewer's opportunity to discern whether or not what they are viewing is any good at all, has any credibility. So yeah, it's an interesting one. So you got the likes of this isn't an attack, but it's worth pointing out, you get the likes of Bikes of Rye, who is in it for YouTube rather than in it for the bikes. That's very obvious when he goes through stuff. Does some daft stuff and then hides more. So he did a Thunder race that he tore apart, and, you know, he admitted on several occasions doesn't know what he's doing. Never got a manual, never consulted it either by the looks of things, but he just about managed to get it running, and it was running awfully. Then he disappeared off YouTube for 2.5, 3 weeks, and then reappeared with it all put together, fairings for the big YouTube reveal. And you know, and he didn't want to ruin the surprise on YouTube, so he didn't show any of the pulling it back together. And you know, it just really smacks of, he got to a certain point, and then sent it away and got it fixed at a garage, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. I'm in no position to critique that, because bearing in mind I'm, you know, giving up on 2 projects just because they're fucking destroying my brain and I've had enough. That's not the point. The point is, if it just fezzed up and said, yeah, I've got to this far, I need it finished off, so I'm going to send it away and get it finished off. Fine, not a problem at all. But it's the big glitz and glamour. Look, I've got this, I've done this, really. Okay. And it's what I like to think is the difference between some of the more sham channels and some of the more realistic ones. And I'm doing this completely ad hoc, you know, unscripted, so please forgive me, or chucking comments for ones that, you know, I've missed on the you know, on the reality show piece. But, you know, I'm thinking specifically, you know, my mate Charlie, motorcycle rescuer, that, you know, he hides nothing. He is a tinkerer. He bodges bits that he needs to bodge or wants to bodge, or either doesn't have the funds, the time, or the energy to do pucker. I'd say proper. It's not as if he bodges stuff and it's dangerous, but, you know, he'll admit that things get done rather than necessarily in the ideal best way. That's not to say bodging. It's just, you know, functional fixing. He's keeping bikes alive. He's rescuing them. Who else would I put in the same category? Ryan's garage. Ryan is similar to me, not a mechanic. I'd say mechanically minded, in terms of he can logically work out what to do. I think in a way that I can as well, but he can logically work out what's right, what's wrong, and where a fix needs to be done. Doesn't necessarily have all the right kit and all the right capabilities, but makes do with what he's got and does a good job. So I put Ryan in that. Motorcycle junkie, or Bertie Budget that was. Carl's precisely the same. He is a, you know, he is me. He is the tit in the shed. He's a lot older than I am. Good God, that man's old. Sorry, Carl. But yeah, he is a tit in the shed, and that's not meant as an insult. That is a compliment. Much like me, tit in a shed that just has a bit of a fuck around, works his way through stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and has way too many bikes to his name than he can ever ride. Much like me. So yeah, there's I think there's more of us that aren't, and actually I would rather watch, you know, that authentic player than I would somebody that does some really basic stuff very, very badly, says Shazam and suddenly he's got a shiny bike next to him. I just don't see the point behind that. Yeah, so it's my plea, my encouragement is to support these little channels, because they are bloody good watches, and you find yourself getting really invested in their build, rather than waste time on a slightly more showy channel where you'll see ridiculous things in minute detail, and then they'll push the YouTube fast forward button and suddenly it's all done and you feel slightly robbed because you've missed the best bit, because it's just not being uploaded. Yeah, there's my plea, I suppose. Look after the little guys, because their stuff's better, frankly. On top of that though, and I would create a super category, if you like, and that super category has got one person in it to my mind, because I don't really follow many of the big channels, if you like, and that's Doghouse Customs. That is one big channel that's worth watching, because Craig is absolutely fantastic channel to watch, for a few reasons. One, his craftsmanship. I believe he's an ex-blacksmith. I know there's a lot more backstory that I just can't be bothered to go into, to be honest, but his attention to detail is astounding. He comes across as an absolutely lovely bloke. Now, he might not be, you know, he might kill cats for part-time, whatever, but who cares? He comes across as an absolutely cracking bloke. His presentation style is brilliant, his dogs are brilliant, he's just, you know, he's a happy-go-lucky dude in a shed that creates some absolutely amazing bikes, but really interesting content, and it leads you down the right route of, if you want the polar opposite of just about every other channel, you know, if there's a way to do things quickly or a way to do things properly, Craig will give you an example of the properly. He will, on very rare occasion, take a shortcut, but he will signpost that to death and will acknowledge that he has. But like I say, you know, you can count on one hand how many times he does that, but when he does make a point of saying, look, you know, I realise what I should do is this, this is why I'm going down this route. And by shortcuts, I'm talking about, you know, times when he will spray paint something rather than get it powder coated. That to him is a shortcut, whereas most of us wouldn't even dream of sending something away to get powder coated, because you don't put that investment in the quality that we're looking for. He's looking for tip top. So and in situations like that, it tends to be just because he only trusts one powder coater, and they got a lot of work on, and the time delay would be too long, and he needs that painted so that he can then do this. Yeah, so if you're not, how on earth you watch my channel and you're not dipping in and out at least of something like the Doghouse Customs, then I don't know. But you know, you may have missed it. Right, I'm going to knock it on the head. I'll drop you back in if anything interesting happens on the way into work or somebody tries to kill me, but that'll do me for now. I'll catch you later on. Ta-da.